When you are chasing purpose, you can believe that the Lord will fulfill your heart's desire. I am appalled when I hear believers that think that the Lord will not fulfill even material things for us. He is the King of Kings. Where on this planet do you know of any kings that do not have the best of the best? I think about even the sheikhs here, the sheikhs that live in the United Arab Emirates. If you drive past their homes, their compounds, they have the biggest mansions on the most land, the most desert. Camels are outside, like all of the things. They drive the best cars, everything. And these are sheikhs. Where, in what country, do you know of any kings that do not have the best of the best? So how can the King of Kings, that's Jesus, not have the best of the best and not want to give you that? If you believe that, if you don't believe that he has the best, then I would challenge you that you're believing a lot of the devil. And if you cannot believe God for the best, you will never have the best. You must first be able to believe for it. He is the King of Kings. He gives us the best. It's not that we chase these things, we chase him. There's no way you can chase purpose and God does not give you the best of the best. Before the Lord moved me out of the US, I was driving a Range Rover and I wanted to trade that in and get a Mercedes truck. Now, I love cars. I love old school cars. I love American muscle cars. I love luxury cars. I'm a car person. I have been since I was a kid. Always noticing the car on the road, always figuring out what model is that. It's just something that I like. The Lord knows that about me. So before he moved me out of the US, I had a Range Rover. I was saying, God, I want to trade this car in and get this Mercedes truck. Can you make that happen? I didn't know that God was making me move out of the US. So as I'm talking to him about wanting to trade this in and upgrade, he's telling me that I'm moving and I have to sell this car and have nothing. So I'm like, God, I'm over here talking to you about this car I want and you're telling me to get rid of the one that I have. So I do that. I relocate. I get to Istanbul and I'm like, God, can I get a car here? I'm from the country and we are used to having cars. You need to be able to have your own transportation and get to where you need to be. So even as I live in these cities that have public transportation, I'm a car person. I'm from the country. We have our own cars. So I get to Istanbul. I say, Lord, can I get a car? And the Lord says no. And really, I didn't need it. Istanbul reminds me a lot of New York. It's very busy, lots of traffic, and parking is difficult. So I don't get a car. I move to Dubai. I say, Lord, can I get a car here? Because only God knows where I'm going to be. I have no clue. This time I feel like God says yes. So I said, okay, I'm praying about the car. I see the Mercedes truck on this app that I want, that I'm going through. I want this truck. This is the one I want. And then I started to talk myself out of it. I was like, maybe it's not going to be smart for you to spend this kind of money. You're moving all around. You might lose your clients. You don't know what's going to happen. All of this is really new for me, right? I'm working internationally now. And sometimes I'm thinking, are my clients going to be okay with this? So I talk myself out of the Mercedes truck that I want. And I tell myself it won't be wise. I can afford it, but I'm like, it won't be wise. Maybe you shouldn't do that. I settle on a Range Rover. I love the Range Rover SUV. And I said, okay, I'll get this Range Rover. I like it. It was a bigger body than the one that I had before. Okay, I'll do this. 2 days before I go get this vehicle, I'm in my room and I hear the Lord say, you're settling and I don't want you to settle. And I said, what, Lord? He said, you're settling and I don't want you to settle. Get the truck you want. And I said, God, but am I really settling if I get a Range Rover? Is that a settle? But God is so good. He is the King of Kings. I'm out here chasing purpose. I'm doing everything he's telling me to do. He will fulfill your heart's desires. 2 days later, I go get the Mercedes truck that I want. All because God was like, Angel, if you do everything I ask you to do, if you are fulfilling the purpose that I call for your life, expect that I have the best for you. So he made that happen. And I don't share that with you all because I'm bragging on my possessions. That's not who I am. That's not my heart. And I'm too private to even want to share these things. But for God's glory, I will share it because it's because of him. It's not because of anything I've done. I can't even afford these things if it's not for him. But I want to dispel the religious mindsets that makes people think that God doesn't have these things for them. If you don't believe God for it, you'll never have it. But understand that if you chase purpose, God will give you everything your heart desires.